Yo, what is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today it is the Belgium Grand Prix post-race review. Max Verstappen wins once again. He wins his 8th Grand Prix in a row this season, and Red Bull make it 12 this season and 13 overall after a 1-2. Quickly on Red Bull, because it's been pretty much the same all year. Max Verstappen dominates, and Perez has a good race finally. I've been quite harsh on Perez this year, but it's been a very good weekend for him, or a better weekend, let's say, but back to where he should be. So, yeah, happy for him. Max and his race engineer had a little dispute over the whole weekend, really, which was quite funny. I like seeing GP not taking any BS from Max and, making sure he doesn't tell him what to do, and it's good to see that he doesn't want to take any slack from him, which is quite funny. But yeah, fair play. Red Bull 1-2 once again. Championship's over, really. There's nothing really to talk about with them. Let's go on to Mercedes. Decent race for them. Decent haul of points. P4 and P6. Hamilton finishing P4 and with the fastest lap. And George Russell P6 behind Fernando Alonso in P5. Decent haul of points for Mercedes. Again, smooth weekend. Russell seemed a little bit off the pace in qualifying and overall in the race weekend compared to Lewis, but yeah, he got the job done in the race and finished pretty much the maximum because Alonso was quick and the top four were quicker than him all weekend. So yeah, decent for Mercedes. And oh, my phone's gone off. Decent for Mercedes, but nothing special, but a decent weekend and a solid weekend. Aston Martin, better, I'd say. A better race for them, a better haul of points for them. As I said previously, Alonso 5th and Stroll got 2 points, finishing P9. And yeah, better for Aston Martin. They've really slipped off since I don't know the specific race, but probably Spain. Since Spain, where they were a bit off the pace, everyone's really got quicker than them. So they're now probably the 5th quickest car, but they were probably 4th today. 4th quickest car, maybe joint with Ferrari, but I'd say they were a little bit off the pace compared to Ferrari. But yeah, good haul of points for Aston. And then Ferrari, Charles Leclerc back on the podium, and unfortunately Sainz had to retire, because he had damage on lap 1 with Oscar Piastri, which was a little bit controversial in terms of how it happened. But I think it was a little bit. It wasn't really anyone's fault, but I think because Sainz locked up and nearly went into the Mercedes, and I think he was just trying to keep out the Mercedes way, and he didn't see Oscar down the inside into turn 1. So Oscar then hit the wall, and then when he hit the wall, he bounced into Sainz, who got similar damage to like Max in Baku and Perez in the sprint race. So I think it was neither driver's fault. I think it was just a racing incident, and unfortunate for both drivers because it cost them both. Piastri fell off at lap 1, and then they tried to keep Sainz out for the entire race, but there was no point because he was really off the pace. They said it was a 5% air balance damage, really. So yeah, there was which is very big. So there was no really point of keeping him out and wasting the engine. They called him in eventually, and yeah, good for Leclerc to be back on the podium, but not a great weekend for Carlos. McLaren, their setup really backfired. I think if it was wet the entire weekend and wet in the race, the whole race, they would have been good because they had so much aero. So that means they were so slow on the straight, and you need to be have good downforce in the wet, and you want to be quick in the straights in the dry, and I think they predicted that the race was going to be wet the entire time, because when it did rain, Lando was very quick. He had a brilliant move around the outside of Sargent. Oh, that move was beautiful. It was such a good overtake. It was very impressive from Lando. But back to normality, I'd say, for McLaren. P7 for Norris, and Piastri DNF'd on the first lap. So decent. Obviously far off to what their previous pace was in the last two races, but I think they gambled on the rain and having a bigger aero package, but definitely backfired on McLaren. Alpine, pretty decent. Gasly P3 in the sprint, and then he got P11 today, and Ocon got P8. So back in the points for Alpine after their confusing, very confusing Saturday. I think they announced it. Their Otmar Safnauer and their sports something like that. Sports chief something. I don't know what his role was, but he was there for like 34 years, I think it was. And to get rid of someone with that experience could be quite costly, but apparently it kicked everyone up the arse, and they got a good amount of points this weekend. And maybe if they bring some more upgrades, they can maybe challenge McLaren. But they've really outscored Alpine of McLaren in the last few races, so it's going to be tough for Alpine. But let's move on. I don't know who's next in the constructors. I think it's Williams. They showed promise today from both drivers, but I think tyre deg got the better of them. They had to do a 3-stop in the end, and Albon finished like P15 or something like that, P14, and Sargent was at the back. So they showed a little bit of promise, did Williams. 14th and 17th for the Williams pair. Only cars doing a 3-stop, and only teams doing a 3-stop. So I think their tyre deg and tyre wear was higher than everybody else's. So no points for Williams. Unfortunate, because Albon looked really quick, but it is what it is. Williams scored no points. Haas better, still quite far off, but it's better from Haas. The tyre deg wasn't too bad today, and they were some way in it, in contention for points, and like P12 and P13 I think they were at one point, but Hulkenberg ended up last out of the drivers on track, so not great. Oh my god, I really can't speak. P15 and P18, my god, I'm struggling. Not great from Haas, no points once again. Alfa Romeo disappeared once again, did nothing. Again, they had promise in Hungary, where they weren't bad, but disappeared once again and didn't do anything, and they don't do anything in the race, so that's why they're P9 in the constructors, because the car's just not quick, and they go missing in the races normally. So that's the end of Alfa Romeo. And then finally AlphaTauri, Yuki Tsunoda. What a man, what a man. Love that guy, man. He's got a point. I believe he got a point. I think he did. I think he finished P10. Hopefully I got that right. He did, yeah. He was at P6 at one point. But fair play, Yuki. He showed his class today and showed that he is a talent. And the unfortunate thing for Yuki, I've said this before, and I think a few people have said this, as he's got better, his car's got worse in terms of season by season. 21 car was very quick, probably 5th quickest car ahead of the Alpine. Probably 5th or 6th quickest car, and then 22, probably 7th or 8th quickest car, and now it's probably the worst car on the grid. And he showed his class today. P10, another point, and his teammate Ricciardo P16, not too bad for a second race back. No mistakes from Ricciardo apart from sprint shootout, or whatever it's called, sprint quali as I like to call it. Sprint quali, he went over the white line and invalidated his lap, so he had to start from P19, which wasn't ideal for Daniel. But yeah, I think I've covered everything. Well done to Red Bull, dominating once again, and I will. Yeah, it's going to be a shorter video today because I'm feeling a bit under weather. I don't sound it, but I feel crap, to be honest with you. So yeah, shorter video today, but thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I will very much appreciate that. And I'm probably going to go to bed because I'm absolutely knackered. So cheers for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video if I can speak. Peace.